What is up, everybody? Look, WrestleMania is 3 weeks away at this point, and the two biggest storylines WWE has going leading into WrestleMania, or at least the two that I'm the most intrigued by, are A, who is Randy Orton on the phone with? Who is driving this heel turn? Who is in his ear this whole time? And B, what's up with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso and that whole bloodline thing? Someone else calling the shots? So today's video is precisely about these two stories. We're going to talk about some scenarios where WWE may be taking this stuff. We're going to talk about the different possibilities about who's on the phone with Randy Orton, where WWE is probably taking us on this whole bloodline, 3.0 thing at this point. And I will let you know what my thoughts are and my predictions are for where these stories are going. Before we get into it, though, like I said, we're right around the corner from WrestleMania. This channel will be posting a lot leading up to WrestleMania. You like wrestling, that is why you're here. So let me be another wrestling guy in your ear. Make sure to hit subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell for notification. Like this video. Check out my other videos. If you take a look around, I can guarantee that you're going to find something you like around here. Now let's talk wrestling. All right, let's start with the whole Randy Orton cell phone saga thing. We saw him on a cell phone before that interview that wasn't really an interview with Michael Cole, where he was talking on the phone. He said that whole thing about, hey, wrestling has more than one royal family, right? Which isn't just a quote from Cody Rhodes' theme song, but it's definitely a hint, I feel, of what WWE might be trying to pull with this storyline. We saw him on the phone again this past week after he was talking to Jelly Roll, and he was like, look, man, I apologize to you, and you had nothing to do with it, and I'm sorry. And then Jelly Roll did that whole stupid thing that Jelly Roll did, because we need less Jelly Roll on our WWE TV. That's just my opinion. And then we saw him attack Matt Cardona. After that attack with Matt Cardona, Randy Orton was like, look, man, he was on the phone. He's like, I know, I wasn't acting like myself then. I'll go to the ring and make it right. And we all thought he was going to apologize to Matt Cardona because he called out Matt Cardona and he said he was going to apologize. But no, once Matt Cardona came out, he attacked him again, leading us to believe that that person that he wasn't acting like, or that time that he wasn't acting like himself, was actually when he was talking to Jelly Roll. At least that's how I took it. So yeah, someone's definitely in his ear. Someone's definitely leading him down this screw everyone path. But who? That is the question. Look, there's a lot of speculation online on who it may be. So some of these you may have heard. The one that I really desperately wanted to be, but it never will be. It won't. At least I don't think so, because it's not like yes, I guess at this point he's been acquitted. I guess at this point he's not going to jail. But WWE didn't know that when this storyline happened. WWE didn't know that this man would be walking free at a time for WrestleMania. Why would they tease the story for WrestleMania with someone who may not be a free man by WrestleMania? He is now, but at the time, we didn't know. And that person is Ted DiBiase Jr. Obviously, right, we have Legacy. Was it Legacy? Is that their name? Yes, Legacy. With Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr., right? It was Randy Orton's faction of second and third generation wrestlers. All three of them were together. He's turned on Cody Rhodes. So how poetic would it be if Ted DiBiase Jr. So also talk about, and this is why I don't think it's happening also. Talk about disappointing, right? If Randy Orton comes out, he's like, look, someone has been in my ear this whole time. And this person has shown me the right way. This person has shown me that I was being too good to Cody Rhodes. And it was time for me to be more evil and be myself. And that person is none other than the son of the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase Jr. Talk about underwhelming, right? And it's not like WWE hasn't underwhelmed us before, but they have to know that there will be zero pop if this happens. I think I might be the only person popping if that happens, because secretly I do want that to be what happens. But yeah, there's no way they do that, right? Right. There's no way they do that. There have to be other possibilities for this. I've also seen, of course, people talking about this probably being his dad, right? Randy Orton saying wrestling has more than one royal family. Of course, he comes from a family of wrestling. He is a third generation WWE superstar. His dad was, I believe, in WrestleMania 1. Of course, they are a wrestling royal family. Uh, sure, like that would be cool. I think that the story would definitely lend itself to something like that, right? I don't know. I don't know if I heard this or if I'm making this up. I don't know a lot about Cowboy Bob Orton, but apparently he and Dusty Rhodes didn't like each other. Again, I don't know if I heard that somewhere or if I'm just completely making it up. So if that is the case, like, yeah, cool, that would be a fun story. Again, though, it just doesn't have that like umph for WrestleMania, right? Like, this is week 3. I'm recording this on a Thursday, right the night before Friday Night SmackDown. Um, this coming SmackDown will be week 3 of this storyline of who's in Randy's ear, right? Would they really drag us along for it to be his dad? Like, cool, awesome. Listen, great, right? I would love it if Randy Orton and his dad were in a storyline together. Good for him, good for his dad. I'm sure that would be something awesome for them to do again, is to be part of a WrestleMania feud together. Um, but I don't think that's getting anyone excited for WrestleMania either, right? I feel like, again, that would be disappointing. I feel like that would gather some boos. And I think that people want something big. People want a name like maybe a big return or a big reveal. And I don't know if him being like, it was my dad, is something that would get people going. So, yeah, popular theory. I don't think that's it either. Another popular theory I've been seeing online is Ric Flair. Sure, right? Part of Evolution. Ric Flair and Randy Orton have a lot of history together. I think that that would be a really fun storyline. I don't think that that has the same problem as the previous 2 options that I mentioned, which is Bob Orton or Ted DiBiase Jr. I do think that Ric Flair would get a fun pop. It's been a very long time since we've seen him on WWE. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. He, of course, right, had one of the best WrestleMania matches that anyone talks about when he had his match with HBK, his retirement match. Part of that problem, though, is that I remember back in December, or not in December, but I guess it would have been last WrestleMania, when John Cena won his never seen 17. There was talk about like, oh, maybe Ric Flair should hand him the title, right? Like number 16, they were tied for a very long time. Number 16 handing the 17th title to John Cena. Like, how poetic would that be? And then everyone started to discover like, oh, actually, Ric Flair is still under contract. Wow, what was that? Ric Flair is still under contract. Man, I can't say that. Ric Flair is still under contract. There we go. With AEW. I don't know if that's still the case. It's quite possible that is still the case, since as far as I know, I haven't seen Ric Flair on AEW TV since then. Who knows though? Maybe AEW let him out of his contract already, and that's not the case anymore. So that's definitely a possibility. Fun, yeah. But again, I don't think that that's it. I don't think that that's the answer. I've heard names being thrown around like Chris Jericho, right? That would be a really fun return, but I don't think it makes any sense with this storyline, right? Why would Chris Jericho be coming back and have a storyline where he aligns himself with Randy Orton and goes after Cody Rhodes, and the whole like wrestling has more than one royal family thing? I don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it would get a huge pop, but it would feel like something that WWE just wedged in for absolutely no reason. But my theory is that we're involving another Canadian, and that person is no other than Kevin Owens. Here's what I actually think might be happening. There are 2 scenarios in my head of where I think WWE might be going with this. We'll get to the second one in a bit, but my my first scenario, and I think probably the most likely of the two, is that is Kevin Owens on the phone with Randy Orton. Kevin Owens was having a feud with Randy Orton that, before last WrestleMania, he had to leave because, right, he was going to get neck surgery. We haven't seen him in a long time. We haven't heard from him in a long time. That feud started because Kevin Owens was having a feud with Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton took Cody Rhodes' side. So wouldn't it make perfect sense if Kevin Owens heard about the fact that Randy Orton was about to go one-on-one with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and maybe he just gave his old friend a call. Maybe he just gave his old friend a call and he's like, look, man, I know you guys are friends, but I wouldn't trust that guy. Look at everything he did to get this title back. Look at everything that happened. Look at how everything just perfectly aligned so that he can take the championship away from Drew McIntyre and so that he can be at a main event of WrestleMania again. Doesn't that make sense? I feel like Kevin Owens, knowing the history that he has with Randy Orton, knowing that last WrestleMania, he and Randy Orton were supposed to have a match that would have absolutely destroyed. That match would have been awesome, right? And again, we don't know Kevin Owens' status. We don't know if he's cleared to return. We don't know if his neck is better. It's quite possible that his neck isn't better and it won't be better for a very long time. And if that's the case, take care of your health before anything, Kevin Owens. But how awesome would it be if in the middle of the match between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, we hear Kevin Owens' music? How amazing would that be? I think it makes perfect sense. I think it would get a huge pop. I think it gives us that WrestleMania moment that everybody wants, that we were missing last year at WrestleMania with that whole John Cena, Cody Rhodes debacle that happened. I think that this would give us an amazing return. It would give us the pop of the night. It would give WWE exactly what they want at a WrestleMania. More than this, we've seen how Sami Zayn has been spiraling in the last few weeks. Maybe he's part of this faction. Maybe we create a faction with Randy Orton, with Kevin Owens, with Sami Zayn. And maybe, just maybe, we can throw Jey Uso in there. Which leads me to my scenario number 2. Jey Uso is aligning himself with Randy Orton. And the person who is calling all the shots is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I know! Don't click away from this video. I know we've been teased with it. People have been talking about it. Oh, is he gonna be at the main event of WrestleMania when John Cena takes on Cody Rhodes, right? And then we heard Travis Scott's music and we were like, oh, here he comes. Oh no, we're finally gonna get payoff from that John Cena heel turn. And then his music never hit. We never heard from him again. We never heard from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson again. So maybe this is where we hear from. We've been seeing those segments backstage, right? Between Jimmy and Jay and LA Knight. We saw the trailer in the back with a giant Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne was on the trailer. We know how Dwayne feels about CM Punk as well. So maybe Dwayne is the one calling all the shots. Maybe Dwayne is involved in both of these storylines. And we get this like mega super faction of all of these people that just feel like they've been slighted over the past year. Now, is it probable? No. But you're forgetting one thing. You're forgetting that Dwayne loves one thing more than anything in the world. Sure, the man loves making his movies. The man loves being a Hollywood star. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson loves wrestling. He does come from a wrestling royal family. But the one thing that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson loves more than anything in the world is money. And where is WrestleMania 43 being hosted? That's right. It's being hosted in Saudi Arabia. And you know who has a lot of money? The person who paid to have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, right? The royal family in Saudi Arabia who has paid a lot of money for WWE for WrestleMania. They can give Dwayne the one thing he loves more than anything in the world. And that is a whole lot of money. So I'm not saying that this is a story where we reveal Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the head of this faction right away. I'm saying maybe we get a slow build. And we keep adding more zeros to that paycheck leading up to WrestleMania 43. And then we get a big reveal or a big match or a big something with good old Dwayne selling his soul at WrestleMania 43. So yeah, that's my prediction for this. I do think the two stories are connected. I feel like WWE very subtly, by having Randy Orton show up on Monday Night Raw the Monday after that attack on Cody Rhodes, I feel like they were trying to tell us something. And maybe this is just me. I'm hitting my mic. I'm sorry. But maybe this is just me giving WWE too much credit. They've let us down before. They've let us down before. And they're going to let us down again. I just hope it's not here. I hope they don't give us Ted DiBiase Jr. And I hope they don't give us Jey Uso as the new tribal chief. Because talk about disappointing. I just feel like there's going to be more to these stories. And all signs point to Dwayne. I feel like we're going to get a new heel faction. I feel like we're going to have to get all of these guys, all of these baby faces to join forces to go after this big bad that is whatever the hell we're going to call it. The Millionaires Club, I don't know. After WrestleMania, we're going to get a Cody Rhodes, a CM Punk, an LA Knight, maybe even a Roman Reigns. Just join forces. We don't all like each other, but we have to take down the Rock's faction. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. It kind of came to me. And look, you guys all probably think that I'm crazy and I'm stupid and that's never going to happen. And it's quite possible because it feels too entertaining for WWE. But let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know, is it just as simple as Randy Orton's on the phone with, I don't know, with his dad and Jey Uso is the tribal chief? That just doesn't feel big, you know? Like, it doesn't feel like worth the build. Then again, neither did last year's main event at WrestleMania. So WWE has done it before. But since you made it this far, make sure to drop a like. Let me know in the comments why you think I'm crazy and stupid and this would never work. Let me know what you think the actual outcome will be of this build for WrestleMania. Just some thoughts I had, just something that made sense to me as I was putting together today's video. But let me know what you think. Since you made it this far, like I said, drop a like. Make sure to click on whatever video is going to show up here. I don't know what it is. Probably Monday Night Raw Explained. Where you can hear my thoughts about Monday Night Raw. I'm aware that this week I did not do a Monday Night Raw in 60 seconds, and that's because there was a whole lot happening this week. What happened, Danny? None of your business, that's what. Anyway, though, as always, until next time, have a nice day.